Welcome to the Veterans Corner, and thank you for inviting us into your home today. I'm Greg Gagne, a veteran advocate. The Veterans Corner primary mission is to help veterans with employment, and the secondary mission is in meeting their needs by bringing employers, nonprofit agencies, and veterans together. We do this by interviewing employers, nonprofit agencies here on the Veterans Corner. So if you are a veteran or know of a veteran that needs assistance, give me a call at 315-3259. If you are an employer or a nonprofit organization who wish to participate on the show, just give me a call at 315-3259 as well. This is a free service. Let's make a difference this year for our veteran heroes. For our guest today, we have Mr. Reed Boudreau. He's the general manager for Greg Tilley's Manufacturing here in the Lafayette area, and he's going to share with us information about what the company does. Of course, we already know what he does, but let you know what is available, and at the same time see if we can help veterans, and also maybe with some jobs possibly in the future.
Sure.
Okay, so Reed, it's nice to have you on board, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Then give me some history about Greg Tilley's and how we got to Lafayette.
Absolutely. So Greg Tilley's has been around for over 30 years, and they've been up in the Shreveport-Bossier City market.
Okay.
And, about 2010, about midway through 2010, we decided to open a location here in Lafayette. It's a great area for mobile homes in general, and just a great opportunity for us to come down here and bring that same Greg Tilley's name down in the Lafayette area.
Okay.
And you know, along with that goes service and things to that nature.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I know I've been knowing about Greg Tilley's since you guys moved down here. And I know you guys have been really involved in the community as well.
Absolutely. We've done a lot with the community. I personally have sat on the Better Business Bureau board for the last 3 years.
Okay.
I just ended my run with them. But we are very active in the community, also very service minded as far as for customer service relations and things like that, which is important to us.
Yes, I realize, because let's face it, the customer is king, right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, as far as for here at this location, just how many employees do you have over here?
We have 5 employees plus myself, so 6 of us total.
So 6 total?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I know in the past I've done some, but more or less, Greg Tilley's got involved with me for some marketing.
Sure.
And reached out to veterans, and to my knowledge, it was a pretty good response. As far as competing here, just how competitive is it in this area?
Oh yeah, this area is very competitive. We have quite a few mobile home dealerships in town, and quite a few independent retailers, which is always a little bit more of a competitive market, which benefits the consumer, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I know being on I-49 helps out a little bit too.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely.
As far as Greg Tilley's concerned, what type of program or programs that you offer the veterans? I remember one time I came here and say we were highly involved with veterans.
Definitely. So, there are finance programs out there that are available to veterans in specific. VA financing, and of course we're directly involved in that. We have several lenders at our disposal that are very knowledgeable, and that's very important.
Okay.
In the VA sector, just because it's a little bit different type of loan, and there's a few more working parts than what most are used to. So we're able to do those types of loans here, as far as for at least getting the veteran in the right direction to get financing for that.
Okay. Now you said something just now I was not aware of, the fact that the VA gets involved with home loans with manufacturing companies like yourself. Just exactly, I don't understand that. I mean, I thought it was always the home was not movable, I guess you can say.
Sure.
It's like on a cement slab or on pillars. And you also mentioned too that since it's a little bit different financing, okay. Now in getting involved with the VA, is there some type of process that you have to go through with them?
Sure. Well, typically we pretty much lean towards doing modular housing to kind of satisfy what you just said. It's got to be on a slab, a little bit more permanent structure. So the VA typically likes to see modular housing done for their loans, which we have every asset to be able to do. We also, as far as for the construction process, a little bit different because it is, number one, a government-backed loan. There's some requirements there on construction as far as for the property itself, what's done on the grounds, but also even more so because of the VA. They require a little bit even more than most government-backed loans. And again, you've got to kind of be involved with that and understand what it is and the working parts to make sure that it runs smoothly for the person involved.
Well, you're saying like a permanent location. Would you have to build some type of slab?
We typically do a slab foundation, or at the very least a cement runner foundation.
A cement runner,
yes, sir. And that is a VA approved runner foundation.
Okay, that's something I wasn't aware of. You know, because I've seen that certain areas here in the Lafayette area where that happened. What would be the normal process as far as length of time in dealing with the VA, an average?
Average time span, you're probably looking at about 90 to 180 days on between financing and construction.
Okay. I didn't think it was that long. Usually with the VA, usually within 60 days to give some type of answer.
Well, sure. Well, definitely as far as for that side of it, but the construction as well would be included in that time frame.
Now, your manufacturing company, you're not buying this from somebody else. You actually have a physical manufacturing plant.
No, we purchased from about 4 different manufacturing facilities, a couple out of Texas and a couple more out of Alabama.
Okay. As far as the future, are you seeing more towards this type of home being offered versus the standard mortgage, I guess, you know, cement slab and so forth? What I need to do, I hate to say this, but we're coming up to this first segment, and this is really important. This is a lot of information, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, we're back with Mr. Reed Boudreau, the general manager of Greg Tilley's, and he's going to pick up where he left off. So, Reed?
Yes, sir.
Hang in there, man.
I will.
Okay, so we were talking about the future here in Acadiana as far as housing, the standard house versus the manufacturing homes. So can you expound a little bit more on that?
Sure. Well, we're seeing an increase in business in our business, if you will, because a lot of people have been faced with the recent economy. You know, finances are a little bit tighter these days, you know, due to maybe job loss or at least a reduction in income due to the oil field. So what we're seeing is a lot more people that traditionally would be buying a more expensive site-built or brick home that are leaning towards our industry a little bit more because we are affordable housing. That's what we're known for.
Right.
And in most cases, you'll see nearly, you know, at almost half the cost of construction as opposed to site-built or stick-built housing, as it's called.
Yeah. Now, in a situation like this, if someone comes to you and look at your homes that is available, would you customize the home to fit their needs?
We certainly can. It depends on the circumstance. Some of our products is designed to be very price specific and price conscientious, that we try to keep that efficient and affordable, whereas there may not be that ability to make those types of changes as far as for structural changes of the home. You know, colors and decor and things like that can be changed. And then we have a little bit more a step up from that, if you will, where we have some manufacturers that will do some custom building and really move some things around and pretty much design a home around the needs of the customer. Okay,
because that's very important. If they're leaning towards this industry, then a lot of them would like to get something what they want rather than just a standard package.
Definitely.
You know, so I'm looking at Greg Tilley's reaching out to the community to say we will meet those needs.
Definitely.
So for something like what I just asked you about, the manufacturers will try to meet their needs as well. In a situation like that, what will be the process to get involved with customizing their home? I mean,
sure. Well, I mean, we involve the customer from beginning to end. What usually helps is we have so much inventory here on site that at least we find something, a base or a foundation for what they like. And then from there we can kind of make the adjustments and changes that they see fit.
Okay. Because what's the widest that you have? 18 feet?
As far as for single wide section homes, we go as wide as 18 feet wide, which is nearly, when you do the math, about 1,400 square foot of home. So it's very surprising to get that in a single wide.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely. And you know, when you look at most patio or brick style homes these days, you'll see a lot of times that 1,400 to 1,700 square foot range. Our double wide section homes go as wide as 32 foot wide. Okay. And in the neighborhood of about 2,000 to 2,200 square foot.
Okay. And just for sake of argument, about what kind of price range would that be?
So as far as for single wides, we have them starting at 29,000 roughly. Yeah. And then on up, we can go as high as 130,000. Okay. But somewhere in the average sales price you're going to see on a home, you know, 1,600 to 1,700 square foot is about mid-70s. About mid-70s. Yes, sir.
Okay, because I know. Well, let's face it. The environment that we're in and what has been happening with the hurricanes, we've always been hit with Louisiana a lot of times, and you've got to go in there and try to help the community. But you're finding that after devastation like hurricanes, you find that people leaning more towards the mobile industry?
Surprisingly so, yes. You know, we do a lot of things now structurally to the homes. There's a lot of government requirement now in construction and a lot of oversight and overseeing, where these homes are built a lot stronger than the mobile homes of the past. Frankly, we see a lot of people that have survived those types of storms in a mobile home that have decided to stick with another mobile home because of the fact that it survived as well as it did. But even more so, we see a lot of people nowadays that, you know, opportunity where unfortunately they lost their home due to a storm or a flood. Yes. The fact that the homes are already going to be figured up into elevation. So in most cases, the homes are at least 30 inches high off the ground for elevation purposes. That's a state requirement. They're already elevated. So a lot of these people that faced a flood and were flooded, you know, sitting on a slab, they realized that just going with the mobile home is going to get them in some cases high enough to where they're protected from those flood waters should they rise to that point again.
Okay. Now, when you're doing a customized home, I'm sure you can make it look, once you place the home on location, can you give an appearance as being a standard home? In other words, you may put brick at the bottom and even the outside finishing, make it look like in an actual house rather than
I see where you're going. A lot of people want that. A lot of people want that. They want the affordability and the savings of a mobile home, but they don't want the look, and we get that a lot. So yes, there's a lot of different applications we can do, from anywhere from a faux rock skirting to a brick skirting, a true brick skirting, to even putting the home on what's called a chain wall foundation, which is basically just elevating the cement around the perimeter of the home to where the home would literally sit on that, and that's a modular application as well. So with that said, from the exterior of the home, it would look like it was just sitting on a little bit thicker slab in most cases. Yes, sir. Yeah. So that's the beauty of that. We also do a lot of on-site preparation of the home, such as building decks at each entrance, wooden decks, and they're built specifically for that home, so you know the height looks great. It's not something that's just slapped onto the side of the house. So a lot of things that we can do to beautify the exterior of the home.
Okay, well, I think this is coming to our ending of our second segment, and we'll be back with Rio again. Okay, we are back with Mr. Reed Boudreau, the general manager of Greg Tilley, and I think he wants to lean towards another area of the manufacturing homes, and let's see what he has to say. Reed, it's on you, my friend.
All right. So we were talking earlier about construction of the exterior of the home and making it look more and more like a brick home and things like that. And we talked about the fact that we have different applications to do that. Well, also on the interior of the home, because a lot of people want to feel like that when they walk into a mobile home, if you will, that they don't feel like they're in one.
Right.
So nowadays, the manufacturers have done such a great job of mimicking what you see in the residential brick stick-built market. So you see a lot of things like laminate flooring, floated sheetrock walls throughout the home that you can actually choose your own colors of paint. As far as the countertops, we go as far as even doing granite countertops as well as ceramic backsplash.
Granite countertops?
Absolutely. Yeah, people wouldn't expect that. Appliances can range from from the standard black appliances all the way up to stainless steel, even the dual side-by-side refrigerators and things like that. So we see just about anything you can do in a stick-built home as far as for upgrades and options. You'll see that also in manufactured housing as well.
Because I do know, I mean, I was in the construction trade as a subcontractor years ago. And I did run across a number of people who contacted me, wanted to renovate their mobile homes, and saying, you want ceramic tile on this floor? You got something that's constantly moving to some degree. You know, you may not get the results that you want. But in a situation like that, with that type of product in their home, is it some kind of way that they are making a change to make it possible that they may have ceramic tile in their home?
Absolutely. Well, what you're seeing nowadays, again, like I touched on earlier, there's so much more control as far as for quality control and things like that in these homes. You can expect the same thing that you expect in a stick-built home. The foundation is everything. So as long as we're putting it on a cement foundation, you're going to get the similar results that you would in a site-built home on a cement foundation as well. Now, of course, the nature of Louisiana soil, you can't just guarantee that it's never going to settle. Right. But at the same time, you're going to get similar results in both. So you can make the same applications nowadays.
Okay, so I do know, like with the foundation side, I'm sure you use, well, put it like this. The home, there's a specific cost for the home. If you're providing foundation as well, the foundation is an extra cost?
Yes, sir. So anything done to the property is going to be extra, but we figure that into the financing, especially when it comes to VA financing. We have allowances for those things, and it's rolled all into one finance package, including even the land. If they don't even own the land and they're purchasing property, we do that all in one package, so it's one note that they receive.
So it may start out at $70,000, but it may end up over $100,000.
It can go in the tune of 100, just depending on where the customer wants the home, and of course what kind of money has to be spent on the property to get it prepped for a home.
Just how many locations do you have here in Louisiana? I'm asking for a specific question.
Sure. So we have 4 locations. We have our Shreveport location, which is the original Greg Tilley's. We have one in Lake Charles as well, and one in Gonzales.
In Gonzales.
Yes.
And here.
And here in Lafayette.
Okay. So because basically you almost covered the entire state where you can supply the customer his home.
Definitely, the entire state.
The entire state.
Yes, sir. That was our objective on that.
So, New Orleans.
Our Gonzales location can deliver to New Orleans. Absolutely.
Okay, that's
yes,
good.
Sir.
That's
yes,
good.
Sir.
When it comes to, I do know every now and then that you do need employees. When it comes up, what type of normal turnover rate that we have in this industry?
Well, I try to select my employees very carefully, and so I keep my turnover rate very low as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
As far as for turnover, just with anything with sales, I mean, it's a lot of people think they can do it, and they try, and they love it, and they stick with it, and some people it's just not quite for them. But we try to do a good job of filtering that out first.
Yeah, because I do know that when it comes to sales, it does take a unique person who can take the word no.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But in working with the veteran and even the non-veteran, I'm sure you must hold classes with them in order to teach them and train them.
We do extensive training here. We're constantly training. We're always learning as a team, and I work with my employees very closely to make sure that we're all up and make sure that we're all enjoying our job.
Okay. When I'm sure you're aware of the fact that when you hire an employee, if it happens to be a veteran, depending upon the condition, or not condition, the status of the veteran health-wise, you can get assistance with the VA
to help you subsidize them to get them on their feet.
Yes, sir.
In the industry.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure you take advantage of that program.
It'd be a great opportunity for somebody who was maybe trying this out and seeing if it works for them and they like it as a veteran to be able to subsidize some income until they get on their feet.
Get on their feet.
Yes,
yeah. Because I do know that when I was a vet rep, depending upon the individual, I noticed that you have access for handicap. Okay, somebody such as that may not be able to go into the home, sure. but they can still show the homes and also show the interior of the homes on the computer.
Yes, sir.
Because I do know with the disabled that you get a much higher subsidy, I guess you can say, sure. for just hiring veterans. You know, and I'm glad that Greg Taylor is here trying to reach out to the community. I do know that I've been here for quite some time, and I hate to say this, but this is going to end the show. So, all right, Mr. Reed Boudreau, General Manager of Greg Taylor's. Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us into your home today. Please spread the word around about the Veterans Corner Show. I'm Greg Gagne. Call me at 315-3259. Thank you, and God bless America.